We've got the brand new Mercury 10 scale chassis kit from Killerbody. This is a super scale chassis. It's got a 2-speed gearbox, locking differentials, switchable 4-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, loads of awesome scale details. As you can see, it's compatible with the LC70 Land Cruiser, but it's also compatible with their Gladiator hardbody as well. I've got the Land Cruiser, so let's check this thing out. Okay, let's see what we get in the box. You get everything in the box to make up the actual chassis kit itself, but it doesn't include electrics. So let's just give you an overview of the kit. We'll check out what we get in there, and we'll go into a bit more detail on some of the more exciting parts of the kit. So first off, we just got our cross members and our fuel tank. You got your servo bracket. You get a nice little bag with all the screws and the tools you need. It also includes some diff oil as well. You get a nice scale exhaust. You got your actual box there and everything with your pipe work. Look how cool that looks. You know, really nice detail. That's the thing about the Killerbody kits, like the hard bodies and everything, you know, they are really nice kits. I've got the Killerbody D90 hard body and I really like it. And I've wanted the LC70 for ages. So when Killerbody reached out to me and said, do you want to check this out? I was like, yes, please. You've got your inner fenders. So you've got the actual fender liners themselves. On these you can mount like your scale washer bottles and your battery and stuff like that, but also this is where they would suggest you probably mount your receiver on the front fenders. You get your battery cover and your diff lock servo brackets and things like that. So again, just a few bits and pieces. And then you've got your actual, what they call the girder, which is obviously the chassis rails. Now, what I was really surprised about with these is they're just plastic. I would have thought with it being, you know, super scale that they would have been metal. The other thing that, you know, slightly concerns me with them being plastic is obviously that hard body is going to be pretty heavy. And, you know, realistically, you're going to need some weight on the chassis, you know, to stop it being so top heavy. So yeah, I'm surprised they are plastic chassis rails. They do include metal stiffening beams for the actual chassis rails, you know, but obviously that's not a massive amount of metal on the actual chassis rails themselves. So yeah, it would have been really cool if it was a metal chassis, I reckon. Then you got your suspension. So there's two options for the chassis depending what hard body you go for. With the LC70, it's a 3-link with shocks and springs on the front and then leaf springs with dampers on the rear. For the Jeep Gladiator, you can have it where it's basically shocks and springs on the front and shocks and springs on the rear. But yeah, let's check out the suspension. Your toe arm assembly and everything in here. Let's check this out. So you've got your actual toe arms themselves. You've got your actual dampers, actual springs for your shocks as well, which feel quite firm. You get your tie rod set, which they are actually steel with plastic rod ends. You've got your drive shafts, which are actually steel drive shafts. So you've got your long drive shaft to go from the gearbox, so the gearbox is right up front, to obviously your rear axle, and then you've got your shorter drive shaft then for the front axle. And then we've got our bag of the actual leaf springs as well. And again, you've got some dampers in there for the rear suspension. You get your wheels and tyres, which these do actually feel quite weighty. There's a nice scale looking wheels. These are really heavy. They're obviously all steel. They got that steel inner ring. They are a beadlock wheel. Yeah, love that kind of scale look. They look really nice. And then you've got these super scale tyres. They're quite firm. The tyres themselves are quite firm, but they look super scale, especially with the Dunlop writing and everything on the side as well. Yeah, it's a proper kind of scale tread pattern, isn't it? And then we've got the two main events, the axle assemblies and the motor itself. So first off, the motor, my favourite bit. It's like opening a present. It does come with your pinion gear and your motor bracket and stuff like that. Look how awesome that looks. That is just so cool. Look, you've got your scale engine on top there, which when you take that off, that's where your motor actually sits in there. You've got your spur gear and everything in there. What's really, really cool about this, look, check this out. How awesome is that? I'm hoping there's something in there that'll actually attach to it so it'll actually turn, because that is just awesome. So for this model, they recommend you either run a 540 motor or something like a Hobbywing SE, where it's an all-in-one. But if you do run something like a Hobbywing SE, they do say you need to remove the fan. Obviously, it's the actual can for the motor will be slightly longer. So I'm probably just going to run a 540 motor and then probably like a Hobbywing 1080 ESC or something like that in this. But yeah, I mean, that just looks awesome. Obviously, you've got all your linkages and everything there for your 2-speed, and I'm guessing also for your 4-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive kind of lockout. That is just such a nice motor. I love that. All the little scale details on there as well, with the actual pulleys and everything on the belts. I just love that. That just looks awesome. So yeah, that is amazing. And then we've got the actual axles themselves. So you've got your front axle. So you've got your scale like brake discs on there. You've got your little arm here for your locking differentials. So you can see that's locked. And then if we pull this and hold it, if I can still show you, you can see that now it's unlocked. I'm turning the one side, but the other side's not turning. And then obviously if we just push it back in once it gets to the right point, there we go. And then we're back to locked again. Really nice axles. They are just plastic. Again, it's a shame they're not metal, because that would have given us a nice bit of weight low down. And you know, with like things like metal axles as well, it really helps with that scale movement, in my opinion, because obviously you've got a bit of weight working those shocks. They're still a really nice looking axle, but yeah, it's just a shame they're not metal. I did notice that you can see, I don't know if you can see them on the camera, there's a little bit of weeping. I think they've used quite a thin diff oil. It's not grease, it's actual oil, like you'd put in a basher or something like that. And then you've got your rear axle. So again, you've got your locking differential piece there. Obviously that's where your cable's going to go through to actually pull the locking diffs and everything. And again, you can see if I turn it, it's locked. And then obviously if I did the same thing, it would then be unlocked. Again, plastic axle. You know, nice scale details. You can see a bit of weeping there on the bottom as well. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to strip them down, and actually I might ditch the oil and use grease instead, because to be honest, most of my rigs, no matter how scale, they're going to end up in the mud and the water. So, you know, it's going to need some marine grease in there really. But yeah, really nice looking axles. And you actually get your diff lock steel wires. So you can see you've got all of that in there. It gives you loads of details on the actual box, but you can see there are upgrade option parts as well. So they do have aluminium chassis rails, aluminium axles, aluminium control arms. So yeah, so there are upgrades available. It would have been nice if it had it out of the box, but you know, yeah, there are those upgrade parts available. So then you've got the actual hard body as well. Comes again all nicely packaged. I'll just show you each thing individually because it's too big for my bench, to be honest. And the actual hard body itself, you know, it all needs assembling. Obviously you can paint it and everything as well if you want to. There are pre-painted bodies available as well. Really nice scale hard bodies, the Killerbody bodies. I do really like them. So that's obviously your actual cab. It does also come with the clear windows as well. And then you've got your nice rear bed as well. Looks really nice. You get your little parts box which has all of your screws and everything in there for assembling the body. You've got a whole bag full of screws and everything there that you'll need to put it all together. So you do get an instruction manual with a body. You don't actually get a paper instruction manual with a chassis kit, but you can get the instructions online to put it together. And I think they've there should be video tutorials as well on how to do it. You get all your stickers and your details and everything, so you can do all like your dashboard or your badges and everything like that. They look really nice. You get your front bumper, you get your wheel arches, you get your side steps and everything. You get really nice looking like clear lenses, all your lights and everything there. They look really, really nice. You get your dashboard, you get your rear cage, you got your doors, and your bonnet and all the other little bits and pieces. Then you got some of like your accessories. So you got like your steering wheel, your windscreen wipers, your rear view mirrors, your snorkel and everything like that, and all like your vents and everything. You get your nice chrome grille, your lens covers and things like that. That is like super shiny. And the last bit is like your door handles, your rear bed, and a few other like bits and pieces. So yeah, both really nice bits of kit. I mean, like I said, just over $320 for the chassis kit and $125 for the hard body. The only thing I was a little bit disappointed is that the hard body didn't come with an interior. That's like another like $60, something like that, I think it is. Which would have been really nice if that had just come with the interior as well. Because obviously when you've got that really nice scale hard body, you kind of expect, you know, the whole point you're going for scale, you want a driver or something in there, don't you? So that was a little bit of a shame, to be honest. I was expecting an interior in there, and then when there wasn't, I was kind of like, oh, okay, got to buy an interior as well. But yeah, so I'm going to get this thing built. I was planning on just building it all off camera and then just, you know, showing you the finished result, but unless this video gets like 100 comments and loads of likes of people saying, yeah, we want to see you build it. And then maybe I can either do it as like a live stream or a bit of a time lapse or something like that. But let me know if you do want to see me build it. But like I said, I haven't built one before. So, you have to make sure you get some beers or a cup of tea or, whatever your tipple is to bear with me, because it might be a tedious process. So, but anyway, like I said, I need to get the electronics first anyway. I might try Hobbywing SE, but to be honest, I'd quite like to keep that fan in there and see if it'll actually work. So I'm probably just going to go with a 540 motor, Hobbywing 1080 ESC. I've already got, I think it's a Fly Sky 6-channel transmitter. Obviously, you're going to need 6 channels if you want to do lights and everything as well, which, that's a given, and then got to get some lights in there. Anyway, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Are you going to get one? What do you think of the price? What do you think of the actual details? What do you think they could do better? Like I said, you can obviously get all the upgrade parts and everything for it as well. But yeah, just what do you think? And do you want to see me build it or not? But yeah, drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Give us a like, subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.